After a meeting with several agencies here at the Muritala Mohammed International Airport, the Managing Director of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, Mr. Saleh Dunuma, tells us exactly how the agencies are implementing the executive order.
Issues being raised as a result of the implementation of the executive order, but I gave them my words that I will support them in whatever issues that may come up as a result of the implementation, but also emphasize that as indicated by the executive order, there will be no compromise to back-end procedures. And this means that whatever security procedures, security checks, we are not compromising that. They must continue, but we have to do it in a proper manner, in such a way that we adhere to the executive order. I've also urged them that we have to implement the deadlines as indicated by the executive order. So the other issues that had to do with procedures, infrastructure, and so on is what we intend to support them. We'll give them additional equipment, for example, if need arises. We'll give them additional facility if the need arises, depending on what they are requesting for. They need to meet regularly so that whatever issues that come up as a result of this implementation, such issues should be discussed and solutions are proffered to that will be acceptable to all of them. And it must comply with the executive order. Lagos Airport is the key airport. It carries most of our passengers. So if we get it right in Lagos, we will get it right in other airports, because Lagos is the most complicated, is the biggest, that has the largest number of passengers. So that's why we are making sure that we get it right in Lagos. Once we do that, the other airports, I believe, will be an easy thing for us. Everybody is ready to key into this big committee that is set up for the implementation, and everybody is contributing positively. All indications, all hands are on deck to make sure that the executive order is implemented successfully. In most cases, if you implement the executive order, there will be no multiple checks, and this is what they need to come together and discuss. And the checks should be done in the proper location. So these are some of the things that they need to relocate some of the security agencies to go to the proper place where they are supposed to check. Like luggage. Luggage is not supposed to be checked in the departure hall. It's supposed to be checked at the baggage sorting area. So they will go there and everybody will do the sorting out there. Well, once implemented, it must be sustained. That's why everybody must own it. So all the agencies are sitting together now to make sure that they own the executive order. Once you own it, then you sustain it.
Still on the ease of doing business, the federal government may approve the reduction in documentation of import and export of goods in and out of the country from 14 to 8 and 10 to 7 respectively. But licensed cargo agents operating around the airports say more needs to be done. The chairman of the airport chapter says the monitoring of the implementation of the policy is key if the Nigerian business environment must remain friendly.
I would take relative to airport operations, because at the airport, you know, it's a fast movement of cargoes. It is believed that within 48 hours, your shipments, cargoes should leave from the airport, to their various destinations. But with this multiplicity of agencies, one agent of government had to do, you need to visit 5, 6 people. It's time consuming. At times, you may get to somebody that is not on duty, has to wait for the next day for him to come. And this is what primarily an agent of government could have done. So this affects trade facilitation. So this is exactly, at least, a very fundamental hindrance of operations at the airport. My take is, let's drive it to where it is necessary, that is the operational basis. Let it not be like one of those policies that will always come, and before you know it, to fizzle out that way.
20 aviation safety inspectors of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority have successfully completed the NCAA/ACAO endorsed Government Safety Inspectors Airworthiness course. The airworthiness course is to ensure that airworthiness inspectors develop additional proficiency in the processes and procedures of certifying an application for Approved Maintenance Organization AMO and Air Operator's Certificate AOC. The course covers the 5 phases of the certification process and the airworthiness inspector's role in each phase. Nigeria is a signatory to the Chicago Convention on International Civil Aviation, and it's expedient for NCAA to implement the International Civil Aviation Organization's 8 critical elements on safety. This course is part of the cardinal efforts of the regulatory authority to establish, implement, and sustain an effective safety oversight system in the aviation industry in Nigeria. The tables appears to be turning against Qatar Airways in an unprecedented blockade by its neighbors. Qatar Airways, which before last week was the Gulf's fastest growing super carrier. Rivals, including larger Dubai-based carrier Emirates, appear to be left trailing in the Doha Airlines' wake of stellar performance, having announced a net profit growth of 22% to $541 million and an increase in revenues of 10% in the financial year ending in March. But now, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain and Egypt have imposed an air, sea and land transport ban on Qatar, accusing the gas-rich state of backing Islamist extremist terrorism, a charge denied by Doha. A China Eastern flight bound for Shanghai was forced to turn back to Sydney on Monday, June the 12th, due to a mid-air emergency with a gaping hole in the casing of one of the plane's engines. The plane, which data from flight tracking website FlightAware showed was an Airbus A330-200 twin jet, landed without incident and there were no injuries. A passenger on board told local Australian 9 network that she could smell burning and a loud bang shortly after takeoff. The Australia Transport Safety Bureau said it was investigating the incident.
Yeah, so it took off like normal, and then all of a sudden, like, some of our friends that were with us smelled burning, and we were like, didn't think anything of it really, but then all of a sudden it got really loud and it was like and everyone was kind of just acting like it was normal, but we were a little bit like, interesting.
It was a little shocking. I couldn't really tell what it was at first, but then I realized there was a hole in the engine, and it was a little scary that we were on there, but we were safe, so.
The U.S. revised travel ban on some countries has suffered another setback as a second federal appeals court ruled against President Donald Trump's decision on Monday, the 12th of June. The administration had already sought a Supreme Court review of a similar decision issued last month by the United States Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit in Richmond. The administration has already sought a Supreme Court review of a similar decision issued last month by the United States Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit in Richmond, Virginia. Monday's decision came from the United States Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit in San Francisco. The two courts employed different reasoning to arrive at the same basic conclusion. The Fourth Circuit said the revised executive order violated the First Amendment's prohibition of government establishment of religion. Meanwhile, the International Air Transport Association has reiterated that such travel bans create a protectionist to travel towards tourism.
When Aviation This Week returns, catch the highlights of the South African Air Force Air Show. Do join us again.